Today we will be talking about a great topic: how to write better cold emails with data-backed insights. So basically, our team did a huge research. Our data analysts did a huge research, on how to write better emails, sequences, templates, cold email templates, and we want to share all these findings with you. So that's the topic. Today, the next slide, please. Yeah. So today we have Olesya from Reply. She is also an SDR here. Olesya, hi.
Hi, nice to see you guys. Nice to connect. Yeah. So I work as an SDR at Reply for about 1 year already. And I've mastered up a lot of stuff like personalized outreach, and I help to increase the average reply and open rate to help book more meetings and to create more professional sales outreach.
Yep. So yeah, it's Alessa's first webinar. So I think it's gonna be awesome for all of us. So this is our internal webinar with no partners today, but it should be awesome too. My name is Willem, as always. I'm an SDR leader here at Reply. So yeah, we will be sharing all these practices with you today. Let's move on. Yeah, before we get started, a few housekeeping things. As always, we will record these webinars, this video, and we will share the link. Plus, we will share the presentation because there are tons of insights, tons of charts, numbers. So you will definitely need this. And yeah, feel free to leave your questions in the chat and in the Q&A section. So before we start, I also wanted to let you know that this is our last webinar this year. We actually had over a dozen different webinars within the past 6 months. We had webinars with Vidyard, High Price, Cloud Talk, Gradual, Lead Feeder, Gong, Process Street, and we also have this Reply Masterclass today. Plus, we had a huge sales development conference called Sales Development Excellence for SDRs, sales leaders, and SDR leaders. So this is our 13th webinar actually today. And we wanted to ask you, what topics are you interested in the next year? So we will prepare new topics for you next year. We will return back with new content, with new ideas. So let us know what topics would you like to learn more about. And yeah. I think, yep. We can, yes, we can see email templates.
First, and
so yeah, we can get started with the topic. Yeah.
So as William told before, we will start up with the subject lines. Also, we'll talk about email templates and scheduling. The metrics that we will cover today are the average open reply rate, the percent or average reply rate, open rate, and average interest rate. Let's talk subject lines. So I guess, guys, this is one of the most difficult topics to cover because SDRs usually always struggle to make up the new creative subject line on a daily basis. So I guess we've analyzed a really ton of emails, analyzed ton of different subject lines, and so we've discussed different key factors that may influence the average open and reply rate here. And also we come to conclusion that number of words sometimes may influence your average open and reply rate. For example, when we talk about 2 and more words, your average reply and open rate is higher, and zero words in the subject lines, your average reply and open rate is about we have empty subject line is that 60% lower average open rate when we use empty subject lines. So we have to avoid them in our emails. Let's talk about open rate by case type. So what does it mean? We've analyzed different levels. For example,
yeah, Alyssa, okay, sorry, probably something is wrong with your internet. I will probably proceed with from here. Yeah, let me proceed from here, probably
lower.
Some problem with the connection. Yeah, I guess Alyssa has a super low connection today. So let me maybe share my screen and I will proceed from here. Yeah, let me share my screen. Just a second, please. Yep. Okay, let me start sharing my screen. Luckily, we have prepared this presentation together, and yep. Okay, let's get back to the slide number 1. Subject line length, always use 2+ words. So as you can see here, if you use short subject lines with 1 word, it actually will influence your average open rate and reply rate. So it is, as you can see here, it is like almost like 2 times, you will get 2 times lower open rate in comparison to 2 words or 3 words. So it's quite important to have a few words in your subject line. We will definitely say no to empty subject lines, because when we compare empty subject line to a subject line to an average subject line, you will get like 36% less opens. So it's quite important to use words. Open rate by case type. As you can see, we have analyzed different case, like lowercase, most lower, most upper. So it depends on what words cases you use. So as you can see, all lower words will influence smaller, like lower reply rate, both open rate and reply rate. So we will definitely recommend you to rely on most lower or most upper cases. So it means you definitely should use every word should start with an uppercase. Number of variables in subject lines. So it's also important, like whether or not should we use first name, last name, or company name, industry, whatever you want as a variable in subject lines. As we can see here, numbers of variables does not influence your average open rate and reply rate. So it's pretty much the same, but when we start using 1 or 2 variables in your subject lines, it will kind of decrease your average reply rate. Why? Because probably sometimes you will use wrong company name, like google.inc, or like it wouldn't, actually the subject line wouldn't be standardized and normalized. So that's why they may think that you have automated this outreach. So when you use more than three and more variables in your subject lines, it means that you probably know what you're doing, right? What you're doing with your subject lines. So that's fine. So number of variables actually in your subject lines is like quite okay. You can use personalized variables or just rely on plain text. Subject line content. It's also an important topic here. As you can see, we analyzed symbols, phrases, and emojis, and how these characters influence our average open rate and reply rate. So as you can see, symbols allows us a little bit increase our open rate, but not that much. Then we have phrases. As you can see, they allow us increase our average reply rate, and emojis actually allows us to increase average open rate and average open rate. So it's quite important to use them, or at least A/B test your templates and give emojis a try. Actually, trigger phrases we analyzed. So as you can see, phrases, specific phrases allows us increase average reply rate. So what phrases we analyzed? We analyzed words like follow up, quick question, referral, open to chat, let's talk, let's chat, partnership, ask. So all these words will help you increase your average reply rate, probably because you are more specific when it comes to the subject lines. Trigger phrases, as you can see, yep, they allowed us to increase our average reply rate by almost 0.5%, which is awesome when it comes to like thousands of emails. Yep, emojis will also help you increase open rate. As you can see, it is like plus 20% in comparison to an average open rate. So we also, so that's it about subject lines. I think this is this part is super important when it comes to cold outreach and building your sequences, campaigns, because this is the very first thing they will see, right? So what if your email template is like super personalized, super cool, but your subject line decreases your open rate, which is like, that's why it's important. So we came up with 4 different formulas we want to share with you today. So first, the subject line formula is mutual business formula. I personally love this one. It's quite simple and quite easy to implement. So typically we say something like this: we use company variable, then these symbols, like I think it's kind of represents a connection, and our company name. So it's like Google reply.io, Google and reply.io, John and Will and reply for Google. So we want to kind of explain that we have something in common, or we may have a partnership or an integration or a business, whatever it is. So that's why it works well for us. Another one is 3 variables formula. Typically, here's how it works. We actually use 3 random variables, custom variables, as a part of a subject line. So let's say something like this: interest, company, and my company, like Marvel, Google, and reply.io. If your prospect loves watching, let's say, Marvel movies, or company, my company, and pain point, let's say Google, reply.io, and sales automation. So this 3 variable formula kind of makes them curious makes them curious to open your email and see how you will kind of connect all these things together, right? So that's why it works, I would say. So yeah, and it's also important to use the same words in your cold email. So if you say, let's say, if you use Marvel, Google, and Reply.io, you have to connect all these three words together, like Reply is a sales engagement platform, Google is your company, and you like Marvel movies. What if like you can help Google become, I don't know, Tony Stark of Marvel, something like this. So it's quite great subject line formula. Need urgency formula this formula should help you kind of create that urgency, that need. Like, any thoughts on my previous email? Your trial ends in 2 days. Have you given up on sales automation? Have you given up on chatting with us? I'm going with this, yeah. So it's need urgency formula, and the fourth one is personalization formula. It's for one-to-one emails. Like, let's say I made you video, John plus William, intro video, first name, here's something just for you, and then you personalize based on this subject line. And curiosity formulas, this one is designed by Blissful Prospecting. I actually noticed that formula a few months ago, which is also, I would say, subject line formula. For example, this formula should allow you, again, reveal that curiosity. Let's say first name, I was researching company, and then you can just get started with your cold email starting from and I don't know. And I noticed, and something like this, I was browsing company's website, and I noticed that you have like some issues with domain reputation, or with email, with your website speed, or something like this. First name, I noticed you're hiring 5 SDRs, so maybe let's talk. Probably it's a curiosity formula. Currently, our favorite subject line formula is mutual business formula, which is company, then Reply.io. We always put their company name at the beginning of the subject line. So that's how I would say it's the way I actually respect my prospects. Let's see your questions. You have some questions. Oh, wow, thanks are helpful. Yes, please. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions, and yeah, we'll proceed. Alessia, maybe you hear, maybe you won't proceed.
Yeah, I can hear things well. Yeah, so actually the screenshot that you're showing right now is my favorite example of template. It works well when we use the company name and like name.
Let's just.
Would help.
Yeah, sorry, we can't hear actually. So yeah, I will proceed. I thought maybe your internet connection is better now. So okay, I will proceed.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then cold email subject line generator. Yeah, feel free to visit our website. There is a link below, Reply.io cold subject line generator, and you will get access to all these formulas I mentioned above. So yeah, just give it a try and play around with it. You will love it. It generates like hundreds of subject lines for you. Okay, then subject line do's and don'ts. So based on data we analyzed, here's the list of our do's and don'ts. First of all, make your subject line mobile friendly, like 1 to 5 words. As you know, don't use empty subject lines. Use a few personalization variables, like 2, 3 is enough. If if you are confident with using them, if you know that your variables are normalized, enriched, clean, and so on. Use any case style, but not the lowercase style, because lowercase style decreases your average open rate. You can use numbers as social proof. Emojis might help you. Just give it a try and A/B test your templates, your sequences. Your subject line is a short version of an email. So, for example, when it comes to curiosity formula, when you use something like, I notice you're hiring 5 SDRs, so probably you need to kind of tell a little bit more about this in your email. So yeah, subject line is a short version of an email. Always A/B test, of course. Timing is also important. We will talk about this later. Plus, I would say 30% open rate is okay. 50% open rate is amazing. Something between is great. So yeah, if it is lower, probably you should check all these again. A subject line don'ts. Do not use ran forward because it will kind of probably just confuse your prospects. Don't send empty subject lines, as we mentioned below. Don't use question marks and exclamation mark, because it also decreases your average open rate and reply rate. Some words like quick, high chance also may decrease the open rate. No catchy, tricky marketing words at all, like marvelous, amazing. No spam words. Check the list of spam words before creating a new subject lines. Don't use lowercase. Also, do not use caps lock subject lines. If open rate is lower than 30%, something is wrong. Again, yeah, you should give it a try again. Just check the list of these do's and don'ts, and you should be fine. Okay, let's talk email templates now. All right. So first of all, we analyze number of words. As you can see here, we have like different segments, like 50 to 70 words, 71 to 100 words, and 100 plus words. As you can see, average interest rate, pretty much the same. So it's okay to have longer emails, but average reply rate, which is also important, is lower. Actually, the longer email is, the lower reply rate is. So I would recommend you to stick to like 50, 100 words, which is fine. Number of grades, number of paragraphs. For example, when you say, hi, William, then reason for my outreach is, then like you use enter. So it's a grade, right? So hi first name, enter, it's a grade. So we analyze number of grades, and it looks like the 3 to 4 to like grades is better than 5, 6 or more. So because it influences your average reply rate. Interest rate is pretty much the same, but reply rate is lower. The longer email is, the more grades you use, the lower reply rate is. So we would recommend you to stick to 2, 3, 4 grades. Number of questions. Okay, well, then we analyze number of questions, and it turned out that the more question you use, the lower average reply rate and average interest rate are. So as you can see, if you have no questions at all, your average interest rate is the highest possible. When you use 2 or 3 questions, you will get like almost 3x lower average interest rate, and almost, as you can see here, Yeah, so it's average rate. Average reply rate is here. As you can see, it's like 2.4% here and almost 3.5% here. It's average reply rate. When it comes to average interested rate, it's like 15% for three questions and almost 30% for zero questions, for no questions. So yeah, probably it's fine to stick to just one question, and yeah. So yeah, as you can see, the last question is better. Your average reply rate will decrease with the number of questions. Email template content. We also analyzed content like pictures, links, GIFs, and as you can see here, pictures and links actually allows you increase your average interested rate, but they decrease average reply rate. So it's up to you how to rely on this data. So if you want increase your interested rate or reply rate, so yeah, so it's on you, I would say. Yeah, typically pictures, links, and GIFs should help you increase average interested rate but decrease your average reply rate. And blue chart. Yeah, probably I actually have no idea why it happens, but yeah, you should rely on these two metrics. So yeah, average reply rate for for everything we have analyzed here, and we have like for almost 3%, while with pictures you will get 2.4% average reply rate. So here are our best practices for email templates, like be personalized and relevant. So you should kind of personalize your emails based on persona, industry, vertical, company, personality, and so on. Be polite and tactful, like don't use rude and rough language. Don't be pushy and salesy. It means it's okay not to book a meeting from the first cold email. So yeah, you can use cold outreach as actually a reason to reveal their curiosity, to reveal their pain point, not just book a meeting, but reveals that curiosity or a need. Then soft CTAs, for example, there is no need to ask something like, hey, do you have 15 minutes for a chat? You can ask something like, how do you think, is this something you're interested in? Or yeah, that's going to be a soft CTA. Stick to snippet-based structure. What do we mean here? For example, greeting, snippet is a short piece of your email template, like greeting, reason for outreach, value proposition, pitch, closing, call to action, and signature. So yeah, so stick to this snippet-based structure. Like you can have like 3 different snippets per one call template, like greeting, call to, then reason for outreach, and calls to actions, right? So it's going to be 3 snippets here. We'll have 3 snippets here. Use lots of variables, like all types: first name, company name, industry, company size, location, job title, standardized job title, case study, use all these variables. As we mentioned, 3-5 sentences is enough. You should probably use 120 words as a maximum. The less is the better, actually, and avoid spam and marketing words. Like you can analyze them using different services, or just Google them. Words like discount, offer may decrease your reply rate. Avoid mistakes, use Grammarly, plus you can also rely on reply features like email quality checker to analyze your templates. People do not buy your product, they buy solutions. For example, there is no need to say that Reply is the best sales engagement platform. Reply actually helps you book meetings, so right? So they buy solutions, not products. And be honest, would you reply back to that email you just prepared or you want to use for your prospects? Just be honest, right? So that's how you can just be more empathic, maybe polite and tactful, and use soft CTAs and so on. So yeah, and always watch new webinars on this topic and embrace new ideas, because sales development changes all the time, like new tactics, new strategies, new ideas. So yeah, just A/B test things and give it a try. Schedules. Okay, so we have like lots of questions here. Let me give me a second. What is GPT-3? It's a AI that helps write like any pieces of text, just writing down a short description. Like you can say something like, write me an article about, I don't know, about sales automation, and this AI will generate you an article or a blog post or a LinkedIn post, whatever you want. So yeah. CTA is calls to actions, right? Call to actions. It's the last, I would say, is the last snippet of your cold email template. You should always like close your email template with a CTA, whether it's with a question mark or not, that's fine. But yep, like, do you want to chat, or is it something you're interested in? Worth a chat? Yeah. Okay. Let's proceed to schedules. So as you can see, schedules are also important. We have analyzed reply rate by day, and as you can see, the biggest average reply rate is on Mondays and Thursdays. So typically, I will recommend you to push your new prospects to sequences on Mondays and Thursdays, while use Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and maybe even Sunday for your follow-up, for your follow-ups and follow-up steps. So yeah, Monday and Tuesday, as you can see, generate the highest possible reply rates. When it comes to a reply rate by hours, you can see that typically they reply in the morning. So you can also schedule your sequences based on hours, like add new prospect in the morning and just send a few emails in the morning, and that's how we can generate the highest possible reply rate. Typically, they do not reply after, starting from 1 p.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. So yeah, probably it's they want to spend the time with family, or maybe they go back home or use it for, like, for a gym, or for business ideas and so on. So yeah, just sounds like you should schedule your emails and your first steps for mornings, right? And here we have a few templates examples based on data we analyzed before. As you can see here, we rely on just 3-4 grades, less than 100 words, just only one question, and tons of different variables like first name, company name, sub-industry, and even more. as you can see, soft call to action, open to learning a bit more, no hard or like a pushy, salesy calls to actions. And yeah, and we also always start our first email with the reason for outreach, why we are here. Template number 2, the same here, super short, only 3 or 4 grades. Reason for greeting, then reason for outreach, then our pitch, and then soft call to action. Again, tons of variables. Then, yep, let's proceed. Template number 3, again, greeting, reason for outreach, our pitch, and a quick soft call to action. Is this something you would be interested in? I would love to go through I would love to run through the details on a quick chat and see if there is a fit. Yep. So we aren't asking like for a demo actually, but they reply back typically. Yeah, they typically reply back. The same here. Hi, first name, reason for my outreach, because I've been viewing your LinkedIn profile and I noticed that you're like hiring new SDRs, you're using SalesLoft as your CRM, given your job title, given your role. I'm curious if there are challenges that Reply can help with. We've already helped other companies in your industry. That's our pitch. And then again, soft call to action, like, I'm curious, would you be interested in seeing how we can help with these challenges? Yeah, so, and as you can see, we typically rely on all these data-backed insights we actually shared with you today. All right, then let's proceed with your questions. Let's see. And do we know the demographics of our email recipients? Yeah, I think that's a hard question. Do we know the demographics of our email recipients? Can you please maybe specify it again? Like age, since the use of emojis. Yeah, so that's why it's important to A/B test things. We actually started A/B testing emojis with our own SDRs. I have no data right now, but sounds like it works for us. Probably for enterprises, I'm not sure, but after all, we all people, and sounds like there is a stat that approximately 80% of people in internet, they use emojis. So probably even decision makers from enterprise companies also use emojis. So that's fine, I guess. With startup, would it be good to include a line that has a social proof? Sure. You can always rely on social proof. Like typically we use something like, since you're working in SaaS industry, Reply has already helped SaaS focused companies and we mentioned 2-3 of them, or we have already helped other SaaS companies increase reply rate by, or something like this. Yeah, we rely on social proof. So it's actually, social proof is a part of our pitch line. Do we know the geography of the email recipients? Can you specify that as well? Do we know the geography of the email recipients? Like city, country, the email sent. We analyzed all emails, all first step emails, like inbound, outbound, business development, all these cold emails. And regardless the location. So yeah, that's based on their reply settings. So yeah, so it's all around the world. So probably it's so we actually analyzed around, if I'm not mistaken, like 100,000 sequences and like a few millions of templates and sent emails, like crazy numbers, I would say. So yeah. Okay. Chat. Hey, first name for grades is the same as the number of paragraphs. Yes, that's the same. That's the same. What is a good average reply rate? You mentioned open reply rate. Typically, it's like something between 2 and 3%. Something between for just one email, like the very first step of your sequence. It's like that's fine for cold outreach. I'm not mentioning like inbound or business development or PR outreach. Of course, it's going to be higher. Do you find video messaging increase reply rates? Yes, yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. We haven't analyzed it though, but we use Vidyard, personalized Vidyard steps as a part of our sequences, and typically this step generates like more replies. What are the best assets to include? Only one. I would suggest only one link. Sometimes you can rely on personalized images, like using tools like Hyperice, for example. Personalized images works well, but you also should like compress your images, and because if your picture is heavy, like in terms of kilobytes, it will decrease your average open rate and reply rate too, because of spam filters. So your images should be like small. How many calls to written messages do you use? I'm usually one-to-one. It depends on the sequence. Sometimes we have like 5 cold email steps and just 3 phone calls, cold calls. Yeah. Sometimes it's just email only sequences. It depends on industry, company type, job title, yeah, and lead priority, I would say. What is a good number of contacts people for each A/B test before getting something? Typically, I would suggest something like 1,000 per each variant. Like, yeah, you typically need a few thousand prospects per sequence. What is a good size to compress to? Typically, I try to compress my images up to 30, 50 kilobytes, like very, very small ones. Yeah. I have seen trend people do not click links as much due to trust issues. How do you solve this problem? Yeah, we actually don't track click rates to increase open rate and avoid spam filters, because it's an additional pixel in your template. Again, you should A/B test, but as we can see here, let me turn back. Yep, just a second. Mhm. Where is it? Um, can find this slide about links. Where is it? Strange. Oh, over here. So as you can see, links actually increase your average interested rate. So probably if your email template is good enough, and if it sounds interesting to them, they will click a link and you will get higher average interested rate in comparison to an average one, right? But reply rate is lower, of course, but interested rate is higher. How many steps should be in email sequence for better results? We typically rely on like 5, 6 cold emails within 30, 60 days, typically, yeah. 5 to 6 email steps in our cold outreach sequences. Okay, let's see. All right, I think that's it. Sounds like we have no questions here anymore. So yeah, let's stay in touch. Feel free to scan our QR codes. Let's stay in touch on LinkedIn, Telegram, whatever social media you prefer. Alessia, I guess you're still here. Yep, feel free to get in touch with Alessia on LinkedIn. We will be happy to share more info on these data-backed insights if needed. And yeah, let's stay in touch. And thank you everyone for joining us today. That was, as always, that was awesome. Awesome to see you here. Have a great day and take care.